Were you nervous to begin? Were you nervous to have this 6-hour drive and then a 1,100-mile walk back?
No. I wasn't nervous.
No?
I was excited. I was a lot more nervous for the other trails, but this one I wasn't really nervous for, maybe because we were doing it together. I was nervous about my feet. I had finished my last section of the Arizona Trail 2 months prior, and I had terrible arch pain then.
Do you think that those foot problems could have taken you off of this hike as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we hadn't spent as much time working up the miles, if we had just gone from the beginning going, really high 20s, then I would have had a lot more foot problems, but we kind of eased in, and that's definitely what saved me.
Coming into Orlando and the Orlando metro area, the trail kind of skirts around the outskirts of it, and you kind of have the choice on the Florida Trail if you want to head west around Orlando or east. Most hikers go east, and we did as well. Part of that is taking this 20-mile bike path. You pass by all these restaurants and grocery options and lodging, but the Orlando bike path is just so nice. It's really an awesome walking path, and you get to see so many cool things just along the way, and there's these awesome bridges that go over the highways and go over all sorts of other roads, and we really enjoyed the bike path a lot. This used to be a 3,500-year-old cypress tree. Even leaving the bike path, it ends and it's you're just thrown right back onto this massive river. So many bridges, and you're just hiking these beautiful trails along, I think it's the Little Big Econ, and that section is just phenomenal. It's almost like the Swanee River just condensed, and there's so many trails through there. Once you start leaving the Orlando area where everything is a little bit less populated, you're more so in the middle of nowhere, you start going through these areas with just these amazing palm hammocks and just some of my favorite territory to hike through. Just so cool to see these giant towering palms above you, interwoven with oak trees, and have the light shine through in these certain ways that just makes it so beautiful. Not exactly my favorite way to start the day, but I guess it's only for point 3, so we decided to just take off our shoes. Save our shoes and socks the trouble. Yeah, nice chilly morning. Getting a little bit wet. After leaving like those beautiful palm hammocks, there's this longer road walk through like the middle of ranching land, and most of it's like pretty quiet. And right at the beginning of this road walk, we hear just this like crazy loud crash just off to our side, and we turn around to look, and we see this like one truck just careening off one side of the road and this SUV like just careening off the other side of the road into the trees. And we're the first ones on scene. Even the EMTs were like, you know, so where's your guys' cars? And we're like just standing there and dirty as ever. You know, I have a giant rip up the front of my shorts. We're wearing backpacks like two hobos are helping these car accident people. And it's like, oh, we're just walking. It's the Florida Trail here, hikes along this road. And fortunately, everyone was fine, but it was, you know, you're a lot safer out in the woods than you are on these roads in a lot of ways. And then kind of what I've experienced just having hiked this trail 4 years ago, is that even in just such a short amount of time, only a few years, I've seen, you know, this section of road and that section of road and that section of road walk is now trail. You know, so the Florida Trail Association every single year is taking hikers off roads and into the woods. And the way I see it is the roadwalks are the biggest thing that separate them from having more through hikers. And, you know, I think they're doing a pretty good job at eliminating those roadwalks and putting it more in the woods. You know, south of there you kind of start entering these like open prairies and these just like vast open wetlands, you know, through Bull Creek and Forever, Florida, and those are typically very interesting, especially considering like entire northern part of the trail you don't really get to see a whole lot of that, so this is kind of your time. Unfortunately, we just hit those parts on really, really hot days, and here we are just like out in the middle of the open, like totally exposed, and I think we both got pretty badly sunburnt. You know, sometimes you have to suffer a little bit to appreciate when everything is good. So we're going through these expansive like prairies, in and out of these like oak hammocks that are kind of just like these islands out in the middle of, you know, just these immensely open spaces. Finally, we get to the Kissimmee River. First view of it was really, really awesome, and for me kind of like signifies, you know, the beginning of the end. For the northbounders, that's like the beginning of when the trail is just gonna like explode with all these amazing sections up north. So, you know, no matter how you look at it, Nobo or Sobo, you know, just getting to the Kissimmee or leaving the Kissimmee is really a special thing. You enter Kicco WMA, or some people had said it was pronounced Kiso, I'm not sure, which just has like the most amazing oak trees, you know, massive, massive oak trees, and just towering above you and covering the trail, and just this like hammock kind of like giving you this big hug as you like hike underneath through this like tunnel of oaks. So we have 200 miles left to go, or just about, maybe a little less than that. And I can't help but think how incredible this trail is, just through and through. Every section that has trail or is trail, which it just blows me away walking through these oak hammocks, the palm hammocks and along these ancient rivers, and just how much old growth Florida has. Like these oaks here, this is all old growth. They're massive. Oaks do not grow quickly, and it is just so awesome. I really look forward to hiking this trail again, and I'd really love to help out in some way, just to share this trail or to help this trail grow, because it really is a special thing.
I wonder how much weight that adds.
Like a pound of sand. Lake Okeechobee for me is a special place just because I grew up on the east side of it. I don't think Lake Okeechobee is like everyone's favorite section, but I think it's really cool. This lake is like half the size of Rhode Island. It's massive. You cannot see across it. You can't even begin to see across it. And they've built these like really tall hills, or I guess dikes, all the way surrounding the lake, and that's what the hiking path is on. The trail may not be like the most technical thing, but I just think like those expansive views and just the opportunity to really focus in on the cloud. I guess I just enjoy walking no matter the circumstances. Going around Lake Okeechobee, you kind of get your first glimpse at what's coming south. That would be the sugarcane fields. I think sugarcane is Florida's largest crop, larger than any other crop that's grown in Florida combined. Tobacco, corn, anything, it's sugarcane. The way they harvest it is just they burn it. They burn it to burn off all the leaves, so it's easier to get to the meat, the actual cane in the center. So one thing that was interesting about this section, and one thing that we really loved, was all the animals. And we saw an incredible amount of birds. Being in these open spaces, you've so much, like, you can really see so much, and we saw so many amazing birds in this area. We were just seeing like alligator after alligator after alligator. I think in one day we had seen 55 alligators or something like that. It was really incredible. You know, over the entire course of the trip, we saw more than 100 alligators. We've almost done it. We've finished up the Seminole Reservation last night, you know, camped outside of the boundaries. And I'd say at this point we only have about 37 miles to the very end of this trail. Started up near Alabama, hiked all the way east across the Panhandle, and then hiked all the way south to here. 1,070 miles is about how far we've come. It's a pretty long single state trail. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to, in this next section here, enter Big Cypress, one of the wettest, most remote sections on this trail. You know, the section that destroys so many northbounders' feet. So how many more miles do we have?
30.
30!
A little less than 30 now.
A little less than 30. Welcome to the toughest traverse on the Florida Trail. Between here and Oak Hill Camp, there is absolutely no dry land. If water levels are low, you'll struggle through muck. If water covers the muck, the going might be easier as long as you don't slip and fall. Blazes peel off quickly in the vast strand swamp up ahead. Keep alert to your surroundings to look for a hint of orange. So what section of Big Cypress is this?
The Black Lagoon.
The Black Lagoon. Do the stingray shuffle through the mud, sliding each foot forward one at a time for best stability. Having 2 hiking sticks, you can move forward like you are skiing. Make sure you have at least 2 hours of daylight remaining between this point and Oak Hill to get there before dark. You do not want to try and navigate this swamp in the dark. What lies ahead is one of the most difficult stretches of the trail in the United States of America. And it goes on for the next 6 miles, with only 3 pieces of dry land along the way. Expect no better than 1 mile per hour progress through this vast strand swamp. The Big in Big Cypress. Good morning from our last day on trail. That description of our last 6 miles was from Gut Hook, or more specifically from Sandra Friend. the one who writes the Florida Trail Guide. All this section is so much easier. It's like an actual trail. Typically all this is underwater, it's wet, but this year is a strange year. And today it's been just so dry. And I've never seen it like this. Even in the spots where you'd normally be able to rely on water, you can't. You absolutely cannot. But this has essentially turned into a 20-mile dry stretch. So I did the last 10 miles without any water, the last like 13 miles without any water. Now we've got like 6 more to go, 7 more to go. And I think I'm doing that without any water as well. So how does it feel being almost done?
All I can think about is water.
Water?
How do you feel?
I feel good. I'm happy. I don't have to hike tomorrow. I love hiking, but sometimes it's nice to take a break.
The bird. Yeah, what I really got out of work is
an auction